Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Well, Canada's Major League Baseball team, the Toronto Blue Jays, was hit hard today. The federal government rejected a pitch for the Jays to play at home in the midst of COVID-19, despite a proposed baseball bubble to keep players safe. The strikeout, according to Ottawa, is based on the advice of public health officials. Let's bring in our Erica Vella, who is in Toronto. Erica, what led to this decision?
Well, Farah, the final decision rested with the federal government, and it is saying no to having the Blue Jays play games here in Toronto. Now, earlier this week, we saw officials at both the city and provincial level supporting the idea of having the team play at the Rogers Centre. Now, right now, anyone entering Canada for non-essential reasons is required to self-isolate for 14 days. And Major League Baseball needed an exemption to this rule for the team to play here. Now, the Jays are in Toronto for training camp, but when the season begins next week, both the Jays and their opponents would be traveling back and forth between Canada and the U.S., where transmission remains high.
And I understand that professional sports are very important. I'm a lifelong Jays fan. I was born in Toronto. I was at the Sky Dome, as it was then known, in 1992 when we first won. I remember the bat flip by Jose Bautista. These are really, really important milestones, but they can't drive important decisions when it comes to our border and when it comes to the health and safety of Canadians. We have to look at the evidence. We have to look at the advice that we're getting.
Now, the Blue Jays president and CEO says he supports or he takes on the federal government's decision. And at this point, he says he's now focused on looking towards the future. And his focus is finding a home field for the 2020 season.
Dunedin is the only one that is 100% seamless right now and ready to go. That, from a player health standpoint, has some challenges. Buffalo is certainly one that we spent a lot, increasing amount of time in the past few weeks. But we continue to, that is not done. And there are some infrastructure and player facility challenges that we would have to address to get that up to Major League standards.
The federal government rejecting the plan, even though the provincial government was comfortable with it. Now, Erica, the Ontario government is being criticized for part of its Phase 3 rollout as well.
That's right, Farah. This is the first weekend gyms, restaurants and bars are buzzing as large portions of Ontario enter into Phase 3. But the association representing doctors in the province is urging the government to rethink part of that plan.
I came here, I got here at about 5:45. I jumped out, I'm ready to go.
First in line for his first workout at this gym in Peterborough, Ontario. It's something he's waited for 4 months.
It's been a long wait. So hopefully all the gyms throughout the GTA start opening up.
For now, Ontario is taking a regional approach in reopening. Only certain parts of the province have been given the green light to move on to Stage 3, and that doesn't include Toronto. It means larger gatherings are now permitted, a maximum of 50 people when indoors and 100 people when outdoors. Restaurants can go back to serving people inside.
It was very exciting.
On Friday, this restaurant in Waterloo opened its dining room to the public.
The chance to kind of have people inside again, have more tables and have that opportunity again was really, really positive.
On the same day, the Ontario Medical Association issued an open letter to the provincial government warning of the risks of reopening bars.
We've seen an incidence and an uptick in the incidents as soon as bars open, and we've seen outbreaks, local outbreaks associated with bars.
This after at least 45 COVID-19 cases were linked to several bars in Montreal.
And so we're saying that we're not sure the benefit of opening bars outweighs the risks just yet.
This restaurant manager says he understands the concern. He says staff are working to keep guests safe.
That becomes our job, to make sure that there's enough people in there to police those policies. And again, you know, we do have to lean a little bit on our guests to say, This is for your safety.
At Kentucky Bourbon and Barbecue, even with the ability to dine indoors.
At the end of the day, it is still patio season. You know, people, I think, generally still prefer to sit outside.
But Glasgow says having the ability to offer indoor dining for the summer allows staff to prepare for the fall.
When patio season does end, we can kind of use it as like a pilot situation right now to make sure that we have all these measures in place.
Erica Vella, Global News, Toronto.